one leaves a legacy by waking up every day and saying, what is it that I'm gonna do today that will potentially change someone's life? Maybe one person's life, and they will never forget that. Throughout my childhood, there was always this theme of destabilization. Being in foster care, I always felt like I was in like a constant state of transition. I was always displaced, and nowhere was ever permanent. And so I never really was given a chance to be a kid. I always had to navigate as an adult. As I got older, I started to hear things like, you don't have that much longer left, and you'll either end up in jail or in the grave. My brilliance, was not acknowledged, or my potential to do great things. I wasn't given any type of encouragement because nobody expected us to go on to do anything other than those stereotypes that they really put on us. I got off the bus, the Greyhound station on Loyola. I was just walking and crying and not sure what I was gonna do, where I was gonna sleep. But I remember there was some Black trans women standing on the corner, and they were like, where are you going? Those women saw a lot of themselves in me. This is the page. This is where I first found community when I was released from foster care, where all my friends are, my support system. This is the reason why I do the work that I do, because Black trans women saved my life on this corner. Sometimes when I sit and reflect on that moment, I often think that if I hadn't found Rampart Street, I might have died, but I didn't. And I think that that's because my life had such a greater purpose. I often say they saw me before I saw myself, but also saw great value in the ways in which I refuse to show up any other way. So House of Tulip was created and formed as a result of the pandemic. Because before the pandemic, we were all kind of working in silos. Even though we were fighting for the same things, we were fighting separately. And I contacted local trans leaders, and I was like, we should definitely host this press conference to really address some of the things that we're seeing and experiencing. Yeah, it was hundreds of people here. Media coverage, elected officials, community leaders. People so far back that they were all in the street.
I'll never forget, when you was talking on the podium and how you was calling out so many elected officials because of during the time that we really needed community, they wasn't there for us, right?
We left this space here at City Hall, and we went back and we started to strategize, and that was the beginning formation of House of Tulip. Started raising money for folks in our community that weren't receiving any type of resources or support. And so we raised $20,000 in the first month that we started raising money, and we dispersed it back into our community. And one of the things that kept coming up was I need money for rent, for groceries and things like that. We launched a fundraising campaign and we raised $400,000. We immediately secured a property and we furnished it, and we started accepting community members. Hi everyone. Hola. So this is House of Tulip's administrative office, and this is our team. We have Wendy. The House of Tulip stands for Trans United, Leading Intersectional Progress. I think it's important that House of Tulip's leadership was reflective of the people that it serves, meaning that this organization was Black trans woman led. Founding circle was very diverse.
I'm Tamara Baskine. I'm the social worker here at House of Tulip, and I do the intake process. First, I get some information from the new community member, and I ask them what their name is, what their pronouns are, and what their needs are.
This is the second level of our stabilization center. Once community members complete intake across the street at the administrative office, folks are then ushered here where they are then introduced to myself and Melanie, who is our in-kind donation specialist. Once they're here, they get a tour of the space, a warm welcome and a greeting. They are assigned a bed. They can utilize the bathroom to take care of their hygiene needs. We then allow them to come into our clothing closet where we have gender-affirming clothing for individuals who are in need. This is also a space where folks feel safe, and that's the most important part. To create an environment where folks can come, where they can escape a lot of the violence that most trans, gender non-conforming, non-binary individuals face on the day-to-day basis, and kind of just escape.
That's what's been missing for so long in our community, because we don't have any spaces. There aren't any spaces that are being intentionally created for us that are by us. I came to understand my life's purpose and meaning through a series of very painful events, the loss of sisters and friends, and I knew that I could do more.
3 years ago, I was recently released from prison. I didn't know what to do. I just was lost. I didn't know where to start or how would I start over, basically. I really had to just start everything over. And I called you. Within a drop of a dime, you came over. I remember it was you and Milan. You remember, came to my hotel. I was a complete mess. I was scared to ask anybody for help. I didn't want to ask anybody for help because I was always the one that people would reach out to for help.
I'm in a position where I'm doing work. It is my responsibility to make sure folks that mean not just something to me, but who are a part of our community are kept. And I just felt like, just as Paula said, it went beyond a friendship or anything. It's just like, we have a responsibility to act in the best interests of our people. So I only had one thought in mind, and that was just like, keep her housed, keep her stabilized, and make sure that she is well. I think that House of Tulip's legacy to future generations will be similar to what Marsha P. Johnson's and Sylvia Rivera's is to us right now. A group of fierce trans folks fighting for us. When I think about my village, I think about the lineage of strong Black women that I pull strength from, poured into me. I think about the women I work alongside of every day, who come to work, who keep me encouraged, keep me lifted, but also who sacrifice so much to do the work that they are doing as well. Do it right, do it with integrity, and show up as the best version of yourself, always.